Hi, Uncle Todd. Nice to see you.
Why can't I hear them? Can you hear them?
Here we are.
Oh, they're
We can
muted.
hear you.
Yeah.
There they are.
We are. Yay.
Yeah, we still can't see anybody, so we'll just.
Hi, Tad.
Hi.
Hi, Todd and Gail. It's Ann.
Hi, Ann.
Hey, and I recognize your voice. Do
Yeah.
you believe it?
It's that flatness, that nasal Delaware.
It's the timbre.
The timbre.
I don't know that word. Too much for me.
What this does. I can't do nothing. Nothing I can do. It's buffering.
Yeah, okay,
so I can do-
yeah, I see.
What do you guys see?
Just ourselves, unfortunately. I get a buffering where it says waiting.
It says waiting.
We got somebody's heating the unit.
H, is that you, True?
It's me. Hi. Hi, team.
Hi, Bud.
Hi.
Hi. I'm down in the corner.
Well, we can't see anybody but ourselves, unfortunately.
There's some
Hi,
button.
Katie.
No, I'm trying all the buttons. Okay, it says waiting. I've got a buffering thing. It says join with video. I've punched it. I've rebooted. I don't know why. So sorry.
Well,
We have.
What we look like.
Yeah.
You can tell by our whiny voices who it is.
Hi, Mary Kate. I haven't seen you in a long time.
No, good to see you all.
I missed you in Long Lake last summer.
Yeah, what happened last summer was crazy.
It was crazy. It'll be better this summer.
Yeah, all those vaccines are all
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
Yeah. Aw. I like the live
Jonathan.
action in the car, Jonathan and Vicky.
Yeah, Jonathan, keep your eyes on the road.
Hey,
Love it.
hey, Nicholas.
Hi, Gloria. Oh, good.
Fun.
I'm about
Can you hear Vicky?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, she's muted.
Hi, Maggie.
Oh, figured it out.
There you are.
Yeah, we are so technologically savvy.
Are.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Oh.
Yeah, we are.
In the car.
Yeah, we're going down to Worcester to help Nate move.
All right.
I put a link to the YouTube live broadcast if that works better for people if you're having problems with Zoom.
Yeah, sure. But you mean I can't do it from here?
Hi,
If,
Pat and John. Thank you for coming.
Oh, okay. You're allowed to mail it.
if you're not speaking, please mute yourself. Just a little tip there.
Oh, okay.
Hey, John and Pat.
That's been awful slow. Okay. Oh, no, at all. It's just, I wanted you just to know if you're around.
Hi, Katie.
No. Good. Yes, of course. Of course. Oh, sure. Yeah. All right. Good. Well, I'll talk to you this week. No problem. All right. Bye.
Unmute. No, not mute.
Does anyone have Sally's?
There we go.
Oh, great. Does anyone have Sally's email? Could someone email Sally the link?
I can't.
We knew that. We knew that, dear.
I thought
I'll
we
see
could.
if
I thought I'd make
Jonathan
that
is
clear.
actually driving. It
I
was
thought I'd
Vicky.
make
Okay.
that clear.
There's Trudy.
I
Okay.
can probably do that.
Well, there's John and Pat. Hi, John and Pat.
There they are. Wow.
Good to see you guys. Several years.
Someone will email you the link.
Could you ask if they can hear us? I guess they can.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yep.
Great.
Let's see. Who's that?
We can have you-
Hi, Emmy.
Hey. How's it going?
Good. You're beautiful. It's good.
Hi,
I
Katie.
tell you, right from the heart, you're beautiful.
It's so good to see you, Katie.
Thank you. You too.
Oh,
Hey,
have a good
Fee.
one.
Hey,
Hey, Katie.
this is
Hi.
Dee Dee. My sister Al's trying to get on, so
Oh,
Give it a
there
minute.
she is.
she's,
admitting her.
Yeah, hi, Dee Dee.
hi Ted, hi
Hey.
Gail.
Hi,
Good to
Dee
see
Dee.
all of you.
There's
So-
Al.
Did she?
Oh,
Good, good.
hi, Bobby, Harvey.
Hi.
You're very brave.
Is that
You look
Jonathan?
You
Good.
look good, Bobby.
Hello, neighbor.
Hello. Hello.
All right, I'm gonna mute.
Hey, T,
Yeah.
I have Sally's email.
Okay. I just put it in the chat, the link in the chat window.
Okay. Oh, great. So she can get it?
Yep. She knows she's expecting an email. So thank you for doing that.
Am I sending it to her?
Yeah. If you could.
Okay.
We're going to start the first 5 minutes with a slideshow. And if you wouldn't mind muting yourselves, and then Emmy's going to kick it off about 5 after. So at 1 o'clock, we'll start the slideshow and probably try and mute everybody. Okay, I'm going to kick it off with a slideshow, and then we'll get started in about 5 minutes. Hello? Yeah. It's starting right. Just started.
All right.
That's really terrific.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful.
All right. Welcome, everybody. It's so wonderful to see all of your faces. Thank you so much for joining us for this hour. My brothers and I and a friend have planned to share some thoughts about our dad. We'll also share some music and another slideshow. We invite you to stick around after the hour. If you'd like to linger, say hello, and share your own thoughts about our dad. Again, thanks for joining us today. It means so much. T is going to share some logistical information that will hopefully help us all.
So amazing, so amazing to see everybody. Thank you for being here. I've been to a lot of Zoom meetings, but I'm still amazed that we can come together like this. This, of course, is a celebration of Roy Harvey, but it's also a celebration of our family and the opportunity to reconnect. I want to start off with a hearty thank you to my dad and a few logistics, because we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Roy Harvey, and I certainly wouldn't be here. It's a beautiful sunny day here in East Lansing, and I wouldn't be here in East Lansing if it wasn't for my dad getting a teaching job here at MSU in the 60s and falling in love with this place. As a child, we shared many good times on the MSU campus, on the track, in the pool, in the racquetball courts, walks along the river, and the bike rides. And I've been back in this area since 1977. If you ever find your way to Michigan, I hope you'll come visit. My dad shared other loves with us besides East Lansing: nature, adventure, fishing, the Adirondacks, thoughtful insights and stories, music, humor, general playfulness. And I want to thank you, Dad, for all these joyful times. These are gifts that keep on giving and living in your children and now in our children. I also want to thank my dad for marrying our moms, Elise and Betty, two amazing women who also shaped our lives in really countless ways. As far as logistics, just real briefly, I hope you'll stick around for the entire hour. If you're having troubles connecting, we are making a recording or attempting to do so. But if you have internet or audio challenges, feel free to leave anytime if you need to. And then we'll share the link later. You can also watch this on YouTube live if you like, and I've shared the link in the chat window. In the first hour, Roy's children are going to share some memories and some music and some more slides. And we've invited Lester, my dad's primary caregiver during the last few weeks of his life, to say a few words. And then we'll have an opportunity for anyone who wants to share for another 10 or 15 minutes. And we're going to take a little break and come back at 2 o'clock and with a song that Felix wrote and more opportunities for sharing. And so join us for the entire 2 hours or just the first hour. And feel free to use the chat window. Let us know if you'd like to share something so we can keep track of an order. And you can also use the chat window to share your email or contact information or any other questions or comments. And just invite you to stay muted if you're not speaking. And apologies if we have to mute any of you. I'm not the only person who can mute you, so don't blame it on me if you get muted. With that, I'm going to pass things on to Felix, and thanks again for being here.
Hi, Felix Harvey here. Thanks, T and Emmy and everybody that's here. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I just wanted to share a few things with y'all. Thanks, Dad, for the banjo and the attitude, for Long Lake, for the daredevils, the fishing, and my mental library full of lived fish stories, for the grave rubbings, for all those lunches in Johnston, Rhode Island, when we both just needed to spend time together and eat diner food, for that look of disdain when I was 13 and I snagged T in the thigh with a jitterbug and you drove into Tupper, for the irreverence, deep thinking, and hilarity, for the reverence for the woods and walking long ways in them and wherever, for the strong, hard place to push off of, for great song material, for being proud of me, for letting me help you in the last few months, for the burning love in your eyes when we both wished it could have been a little different and easier, for paddling us around in the guide boat for years until I discovered how freeing it was to go it alone, for Betty, one of the great spiritual forces in my life, for reading poetry to each other and playing piano with me towards the end, for my still very much alive brothers and sister, for the spark that is always there. And I'd also like to take an opportunity to thank my Uncle Tad. Tad, we've talked about this a lot. I feel fortunate that we've gotten closer over the last couple of years, our long talks. And so Tad had a request for us that the siblings sing a song. And I'm going to read something he wrote about that. Here's to you, my rambling boy. My only full-blooded sibling, Leroy Harvey II, was 3 years and 73 days older than I, just about the biggest age difference I have come to think that allows brothers to become buddies rather than always partly strangers as they grow into manhood. The oldest of a new generation of Harveys and Sillimans. By his teens, Roy had gained a reputation, mostly well-earned, in my opinion, for leading his younger siblings, half and full, and many cousins into mischief, trouble, and assorted wayward ways. I loved being his star pupil. He was a rambler in so many ways, romantically, bodybuildingly, musically, intellectually, hell-raisingly, religiously, automotively, vocationally, adverbs simple and compound, multiply and multiply. In a letter to me after Roy died, our cousin Dee Dee, firstborn girl of Roy's Silliman generation, asks, was he always searching for something? That hits the mark, I think. As my brother declined in his last relentlessly incapacitating years and months, I often found myself driving home after a visit to him, intoning in my tuneless voice, Rambling Boy, as composed and sung by Tom Paxton, one of Roy's most admired performers. A photo exists of the two of them together, arm in arm. Over and over, I monotoned it, especially the hardest working lines. Here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. Very, very rarely do my eyes fill with tears and a lump I can't swallow rise in my throat, and to utter words, even song words, become impossible. It happened then. And I wished I could think then that all Roy's rambling and searching had brought him some measure of joy as life ebbed. And yes, there were days when he seemed much at peace with who he was and how he lived. But always I had to concede that the jury was out on that, and probably always would be. But we can still hope, can't we? And hoping is why I have asked his children and grandchildren, his family and friends come together this May 8th, 2021, for this remote memorial service right now in the time of COVID to lend their fine Harvey voices or just their generous hearts to wishing joy to our rambling boy. May I ask one or more? Yeah, so I've just read that, and I want to thank you so much, Tad, for the well-written verse. And I think we're going to play you that song now.
Thanks, Tad, for suggesting this song in honor of Roy.
He was a man and a friend always. He stuck with me in the hard old days. He never cared if I had no dough. We rambled around in the rain and snow. Here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. Here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy.
From Wilmington, we had to stray. We had to go our separate ways. We stayed in touch through thick and thin. We never did each other in.
Here's to you, my rambling boy. May all your rambling bring you joy. Here's to you, my rambling Roy. May all your rambling bring you joy. He left me here
Thanks for that. It's now my honor to introduce a very important person in my father's life and in our lives near the end. We just happened into, very fortunately, this guy, Lester, who became my dad's caretaker 24/7, 4 days a week. And just a real powerful dude. He was recommended by the hospice nurse that was in charge of my dad's case. And I remember I met him, I was interviewing, I was doing the first interview before my siblings got involved, and Lester showed up on time, and I asked him how he got into this business, and he said, well, when I was a kid, my great-grandfather, I started taking care of my great-grandfather. So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce Lester Lewis.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I miss him. Just, he was a great man. He was a friend. He was a true friend. I enjoyed every moment I spent with him. But the scariest day, I'll never forget when his brother came to pick him up to take him out. I got him in the car and they took off. And the entire time they were gone, it probably wasn't even an hour, but it felt like days. The entire time they were gone, all I kept doing was pacing on the porch, waiting and wondering, just waiting for them to get back, just to know that they were safe. They finally came back, and he looked at me, and he's trying to wipe off the fast food that they just had. Because he seen I was right there looking at him. And he said, "Oh man, you on it." One of my greatest memories was watching him and his son play the piano together. I miss that. I miss that, and I will cherish that. And I will cherish you guys. He became my family. You all became my family. And I appreciate you guys very much for allowing me to take care of him. It's one of the best experiences of my life. I'll always miss him. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lester. That was very touching, and you'll always be part of the family. So really appreciate you being here. Is there anything else you wanted to mention, or should we pass it on to Emmy?
Pass it on to Emmy, please.
Thanks again.
Thanks, Lester.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lester. Gratitude for my dad. First of all, I have to say that there are more tears coming. I've got Kleenex handy. Gratitude for my dad. I'm grateful for all the music, all the singing, melodies and harmonies emerging from him always. It's there even in my earliest memories on Sherwood Avenue in East Lansing, Michigan. Music and singing, the record player bringing his favorite musicians into the house. Music is also one of the things that brought my parents together, and I remember he and Betty, my stepmom, singing at the piano, or all of us singing on any and every car ride. Looking back, I see how music and singing together was the great equalizer, the tonic, the fabric that wrapped around us, enveloping us in harmony, literally and figuratively. That's where I felt the most connection with my dad during those earlier years when I struggled to feel at home with him after my parents' divorce. I'm ever grateful that he took us to Long Lake in the Adirondacks for many summers of my childhood, then inviting us on he and Betty's precious 2-week vacation as young adults, and then every year but one since returning from the Peace Corps in 1989. As many of you know, this is a uniquely treasured place in our lives. Describing Long Lake does not do the experience justice, but imagine a place where you can feel absolutely at peace, can lose all sense of time and decade, feel connected to those that are gone and those that will come after, swim, eat, hike, sleep, repeat, and be content with just that. His ties to Long Lake ran so deep as he went there as a child. Whenever I'm on the Northville Lake Placid Trail that runs behind the cabin, I'm carrying the strong memory of going off on some adventure with my dad. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and DEET in the pack basket. Long Lake wasn't our only site of black fly infested adventures. My dad went to summer camp in Maine as a child and teen and fell in love with hiking in the White Mountains. Well, at the time, I was none too pleased. I'm grateful now that he took us up Mount Washington as young children, twice, exposing us to the rugged grandeur of those mountains on foot. We're lucky we survived, I might add. My dad was eager to expose us to the treasures of being in the woods, climbing mountains, and experiencing the sense of accomplishment that comes from completing the journey, even if one did spend 90%, maybe 95%, of the endeavor whining about how hard it was. I'm indebted for his persistence and insistence that I go to college and finish it. I'm grateful that he set expectations for me. He could be stern and critical, but I think he was onto something there, as I believe I benefited from the push. His voice became another navigational force within me, along with the impulsivity, gut feeling, and sense of adventure that otherwise directed me. When he was 56, he came to visit me when I was in the Peace Corps. He had inspired me to venture far from home. I had loved his stories of living in Japan and sneaking over the fence of the army base to live with his Japanese girlfriend. I didn't have to sneak over any fences, but like my dad, I was drawn into the lifestyle of a typical Sierra Leonean and cherished the relationships I had with the people of the village that I lived with. My dad spent part of his life working in mental health with folks with chronic and mental illness. I could see that his work was his avocation. I remember sharing Thanksgiving dinner at his house with the residents from the group home where he worked. Can't say that wowed me as a self-absorbed teenager, but now I'm grateful that he inspired me to work in the profession, work that I value deeply. I'm grateful for his sense of humor, his persistent laughing and teasing. He trained us all in the art of bodily functions, shall we say. Timing is everything. I thank him also for inspiring and role modeling the cathartic release of uncontrolled classroom laughter. He taught, modeled, and prompted this at opportune times, like on the rare occasion we found ourselves in a church. My dad was a bit obsessive about running and walking, keeping track of his daily exercise, back when he could walk, in his little black books from Harvard Coop. I think I was about 14 the first time we jogged together. I have such a vivid memory of jogging with him, he and Fee, along the Cape Cod Canal during a visit to my Granny Easton. I remember the aha moment that shared in that shared sense of accomplishment and joy. I like to run still. I'm grateful for his support of me as a partner and a parent, his awe of Mary Kate with her calm level-headedness, his interest and enthusiasm for Grace and Nels, every development accomplishment. He was so excited for Grace to go to Northfield Mount Hermon, where she is right now, about to invest her heart and soul in a lacrosse game. And for Nell, and he was so proud of Nell that she had learned to play 3 instruments. We'll hear from her in a bit. I felt my dad's love and regard for me deeply. His love was a sturdy cornerstone of my sense of self. I'm grateful that I was with him the last 4 days of his life. I am grateful that during those days he mostly knew me and he was his loving, sweet self. I sang to him often during that time, and it was a treasure that he harmonized along with me as I sang. I'm so grateful that after his long, healthy life, he didn't die of COVID, and that I could hold his hand, rub his feet, and hug him again and again. I'm grateful that my brother and Fee and Sharon were there too. I'm grateful that the summer sun warmed my stunned self the next morning, intertwining the disbelief, the grief, and the emptiness. I'm grateful that I had my own loving family to return to. I'm Mary Kate Grayson. Oh. And next, we are going to hear from Nell, who chose this to play this song for us. It's all you, Nellie.
Now it just needs a minute to gather her stuff, and wipe her tears.
Thank you, Nell. All right. I believe that Zach is going to speak next. Zach, are you ready?
Oh, got to unmute, Zach.
Got it.
Awesome.
I just wanted to thank you so much for being here, everybody. I'm having a tough time seeing everybody.
Yo.
Hey. I've been sitting here still writing. Been writing for about the last 10 hours or so about Dad. And so I'm gonna have to drop back and pump a bit here. I know what I'm driving at here. I think you all will be able to relate. I've been for really since Dad passed away. He and I battled just horrible for years, and I carried an awful lot of just anger for a long period of time there, and we eventually buried the hatchet. Really going back a couple of years before he went into sort of the last phase of his decline, we really did. We worked some things out. We really came to an agreement, and then it felt in some ways like we got back. We kind of made our peace, got on the same page, and then we started to backslide into our old ways there. But one of the really had an incredibly powerful experience toward the end there, and just kind of with my whole soul tried to just tell him once again that I forgave him for everything and that I was sorry for all the bad energy I brought. And anyway, this is not, I don't mean to go on and on about the anger and stuff, because the real point is that almost instantly when he was gone, I felt free to just think about all the wonderful gifts he has given me, he has given us, he has given the world in a lot of ways. And so I've wound up really the last year has been kind of an ongoing meditation in what a great guy our dad was, the sacrifices he made for us, the values he not only sort of introduced us to, but really modeled a lot of them for us. But I just want to, I want to go back through a couple of the more basic things, maybe the things he didn't even really need to clarify, but did anyway. I'm just going through my notes here. Bear with me for a quick second. Let's see here. I'm a total Zoom pro here. Just bear with me one second. I think I left my notes in the other room here. Hang on.
While Zach is looking for his notes, I just wanted, if you'd like to share a thought or a memory, we'll have an opportunity for 3 or 4 people to share. Just put your name in the chat window, and we'll sort of create an order if you'd like to say something. So,
thanks for that, T. Okay. Something I forgot about but wanted to mention. I think just in the spirit of full disclosure, you may or may not know that our dad was a stone cold confession junkie. He did not like carrying guilt or secrets very much. He was known to divulge most things that he was carrying after some period of time. So in that way, my sibs and I were laughing about this yesterday, as a matter of fact, but wrote this little thing about my dad and the whole proceeding we're in right now. This has been a rich, full year of farcical life scenarios, and there have been so many since COVID. This one may well be the one I've been least prepared for. Let me just say that I'm glad Dad crossed over before I had to attempt to debrief him on the concept of, quote, Zoom memorial service. Let me just say this. Roy Harvey was slinging the word technocrat 20 years before that was the cool thing to say. What? So it's a computer thing? Rolls eyes. Oh, for Christ's sake. Zoom? I got your Zoom right here. Imagine the full body gesture from Roy Harvey, a master of full body gestures. Dad would loathe Zoom, loathe it. Oof. Right up to, as Emmy pointed out yesterday, the moment he considered not having a, what do you call it? A zip memorial service. Then he'd do a whole routine about the poor guy whose family didn't even get him a Zoom memorial service. He'd do like a pouty lip face of some sort, and in some kind of funny milk toast voice, cock his glasses off to the side and say, were they going to do a what do you call it, a zip service for me? They're not even going to do that. He'd make it into a joke. At this point, he kind of did that with everything. That's the thing about Dad. He was kind of a million, combustible kind of. He was the thing that he valued most. And he told me this frequently. We had long really long chats. We always managed to, even when we were arguing, we were having our difficulties, we always managed to find a way to talk for very long periods of time about what was important. And he was always, sometimes in kind of a pained voice, trying to impart something that he wanted to make sure I got. And obviously, as the later it got in his life, the greater the probability that these things that he wanted to remind me of would come up on a near daily basis. One of these things, and this was a key tenet of his sort of worldview, was the humor thing. It's maybe among so many different contradictions or apparent contradictions, they weren't really contradictions. The thing about Dad is kind of as far as people were concerned, as far as the work environment, as far as home, he really did view excessive seriousness as something like a debilitating affliction that people had. Like no sense of humor whatsoever. Talking about a doctor, a surgeon he had spoken to, whoever it was, didn't matter. If they had no sense of humor, they might even be pretty close to beyond repair. But he always said that, like, foremost among all the among the coping skills, among the things I've wanted to give my children, is an appreciation for irony and appreciation for humor. And I mean, he viewed this as a matter of, this was the utmost importance. This was not to be missed by anybody. And this was, work we were all to carry with us into the world. So in the process of these last couple of years, thinking about the things, the gifts that he ultimately gave me, gave us, that's a huge one. It didn't really matter what type of sense of humor a person had. The important thing is a person had to prioritize regular laughter. So long as there was something to work with, he was okay with it. It could be, terrible jokes. It could be knock jokes, doesn't matter. He just couldn't deal with somebody who he felt was a little brittle, like if he made an off-color remark that they wouldn't get it. That was like death to him. He had a chiropractor for years. My mom and I figured the guy was probably a total charlatan. Didn't seem to help his back very much, but there was no point even raising the issue with Dad because the guy had what he called a really terrific dry wit. He'd come back all messed up from his latest chiropractic adjustment, and telling him about all the jokes they told each other through the course of the appointment. Didn't matter. Dad has a great dry wit has relevant medical training in the field he practices. Was the way it was for him. He cared more about character, more about authenticity, more about prioritizing laughter than most things. The other thing about Dad, he had his people everywhere, lots of them, in the damnedest places. And everybody seemed to have, it's like every relationship that he had was a one-off. It was based usually on some funny routine or some strange set of circumstances that had given them an occasion to laugh about something together. And from that moment, that was like a sacred bond as far as my dad was concerned. He had them at the grocery store, the convenience store, the gas station, anywhere he went. More than once every 10 years, he had a person, one of his people. He had these incredible sort of subversive relationships with a lot of far-flung people, helping them negotiate a pay raise, helping them deal with a difficult landlord, usually him and his friend against the establishment. Pretty funny. He wound up taking ownership a couple of people from my school life. He didn't even connect it that way, but your dad is a legend. I heard that a bunch. Another great gift he gave us, I think all of us in different ways, was the sort of irreverence, something that was pretty central to him. And I don't mean that in the punk way of just questioning authority for this because you have your nose out of joint with the world. It's more a way of viewing things. And he was, you know, he really, this was something he really modeled. It's like in the context of being polite and being a good person and having good principles, you're allowed to question everything. And don't take somebody's credentials as a reason not to ask them questions. Don't give anybody undue deference. Because what it really is, I've been thinking about him, it's just an impediment to his humanity, to everybody's humanity. When everybody's afraid to speak or anybody's afraid to ask questions, it's hard for people to get to know each other. And from his standpoint, it's hard to see the authentic humanity at work. But he taught us to ask questions, not for gotcha purposes, but to figure out who actually knew what, to get at real facts, to help other people around us understand. He had really a service mentality too in life. And I think it was something, again, he really believed in. He valued people over all the things. And these are things I love seeing the different ways my brothers, sister, and I have the way these different things manifest in us. I'm sorry, I'm not better organized on this stuff. You know, long haul here.
You're doing fine, Zach. We're going to have more time to share 2F in the second hour.
Yeah, I'm wrapping it up right now, actually.
No rush.
But incidentally, Lester, I've never met you. I just want in person. I just wanted to tell you I love you. Your family, you're welcome here at any point. I'm in Wakefield, Rhode Island. I appreciate more than you'll ever know what you did and who you were to our dad. You're a good man. And you're on my team for life if you ever need anything. Thank you all for being here. I'll get out of the way here.
Thank you, Zach.
That was awesome, Zach. I hope you'll share more later.
Okay.
We do have some opportunities. If anybody would like to sort of raise your hand or share a couple words, and then we're going to take we've got a couple more things for this hour, and then we'll have more opportunity after 2. Does anybody want to say something now, or should we move forward?
Don't hold back, anybody.
Okay, we do have a 5-minute slideshow, some more pictures of Dad that you haven't seen yet. We can proceed with that. And again, if you want to say something, just put your name in the chat window, and you can also share a reflection in the chat window as well. Let's see. one more quick song, and then you can do that. Period. Should we do the song? Question mark.
Sure, T.
I didn't realize I was not muted. So we have one more quick song to share, and then we're gonna take a break. If anyone wants to stick around and chat or share, I'll let Zach describe that in a second. Let me just see if I can navigate back here.
Sorry, T, I thought I was talking to you. I was on mute.
That's okay.
Hi, this is a song that we sang at Betty's memorial service, and in honor of their great love affair over the years. We're going to sing it again for you.
Everybody's wondering what and where it all came from. Everybody's worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say once you're gone forever, and some say you're gonna come back. Some say you rest in the arms of the Savior if it's simple ways you like. Some say that they're coming back in a garden, bunch of carrots and little sweet peas. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where it all came from. Everybody is worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, and so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say they're going to a place called glory, and I ain't saying it in a fact. But I heard that I'm on the road to purgatory, and I don't like the sound of that. Well, I believe in love, and I live my life accordingly. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody is worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be.
Zach, you're up.
So I just wanted to tell you all this is if you all have other things going on today and need to vote, this is sort of the end of the sort of program part of this. If you want to stick around, as Emmy mentioned earlier, if you have some comments you'd like to add or a story you'd like to tell, what have you, you can just maybe put a quick note in the chat there, as I see a couple of you have been doing. We're going to take, what, a 5-minute break? Is that the plan?
Yep.
Okay. Very good. So I guess we'll pause here. Thank you again so much, everybody, for coming. I'm just now getting to see all the faces who are here. So much appreciate you being here for us and for our dad. We love you a lot, and we'll see you soon here.
All right. We'll be back in about 5 minutes or so.
I want to add to the thank you. Just so appreciate seeing all of your faces. It just fills the heart. So thank you for coming, and carry on. Looking forward to staying connected. Thanks again.
And please stick around if anybody wants to.
Show a few more slides and see you in about 5 minutes. All right. Well, hey, thanks for sticking around, everybody. This is a little less structured. I'm not sure exactly how we start this off, but if you're up for it, we've got a song that Felix wrote. But if someone's ready to share something, happy to do that first. Uncle Tud, you need to unmute yourself. There we go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, they can.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
Okay. I just want to say that that you guys did just such a wonderful job. It's inexpressible, and talent and taste and emotion and everything fine and good that our family has, and I appreciate it. As I might add, at our best moments. Anyway, so it's so fine what you've done, and I just think it's a wonderful tribute to your father, and I'm very proud of you all. And also, I'd like to add my own thanks to Lester, who was a great rock during that time. So thank you all.
I'd just like to add one quick thing too. Also, it's so incredible to see everybody. Though that last 6-7 months were so tough. And Lester, I never got to meet you. But Tad would always come back talking about how wonderful you were, the things that you did, the simple things like, always making wonderful meals. And I guess as a mom and stuff that really touched me so much. And you really added a lot to his life. And just all you guys, you kids, you did such a great job. And it's so wonderful to see so many people. I mean, I haven't seen Ted's brother Bruce and I don't know how many years, and see Ann and Bobby, and it's just something about the family that is so amazing. And I'm so proud that the kids could make it, Hannah and Omar and Carrie, and the songs were beautiful. It's just was a great job. And God bless you, Lester. You did so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail and Uncle Ted.
Yeah.
I think John Walker has something to share. And I don't want to necessarily direct a lot of traffic here, but his name popped up in the chat window. So John?
Yes, thanks. Hi, everyone. It's great to see everyone. I want to just share a funny memory that I had of Roy, and that was at Long Lake, there was a ukulele there. And every time we went up there as kids, my brother or I would find this ukulele, and no one in our family could play any instruments. And just we loved playing with this ukulele. And when I would ask my parents, where did that ukulele come from? And it always linked back to Roy. And so as a kid, I had this idea that there was this person named Roy. I wasn't quite sure who it was, and that this ukulele was linked to them, and that this person knew how to play it. And that was sort of magical. So as a kid, he was embodied as a ukulele. That's my memory.
That's great. Thank you for that.
Bruce, I think you wanted to say something. Can you unmute yourself?
my father, our father and I went out to see Roy in East Lansing many years ago. And T and Fee were still infants, and I'm not sure if Emmy was around it by that time. But we had gone to the zoo for some entertainment, and Roy and my dad and T and Fee. And we're coming back, and this is a story about Roy jumping into action, sort of a heroic story. And as we're driving back, we got stuck in this really awful traffic jam. And, everybody was taking it kind of well. And then we heard from the back, I think it was a Volkswagen. Daddy, I have to tinkle. And Roy said something, oh, we'll be there in a little while, and so forth. And so, Fee was saying that, and then Fee came in, Daddy, I have to tinkle too. And after a while, it got to be nothing but repeatedly, endlessly, Daddy, I have to tinkle. It was, I'm not sure if it was in harmony or not, but and that's when Roy leapt into action. He got out of the lane we were stuck in and impressed me because he was driving up the wrong side of the road. And I think at one point he jumped and was driving up the sidewalk, but he was bound and determined to get the kids to the nearest urinal. And I think he made it, but that was, if you can imagine your father driving the wrong way in traffic on purpose, that was pretty dramatic for me. Oh, and if you ever, whenever I see one of the Fast and Furious movies, I think of Roy. Thank you much.
Thanks, Bruce.
That's awesome.
T, you there?
Yep. Does anybody else have any?
You want to play that slideshow, or you want to wait? It's fine.
Oh.
Whatever you want to do, T.
Is Maggie wanting to say something? And then we'll play Fee's slideshow.
Okay,
And,
good stuff.
and there's more opportunities to share later. Thank you.
You guys are doing a wonderful job. Those pictures are magic, truly. But there's a funny story about Roy that I want to share. He was my favorite uncle. Don't tell the other uncles. For a lot of reasons, not the least of which, I used to go to Rhode Island and visit Betty and Roy and Zach. And those times were some of my favorites. And my favorite thing in the world was for Betty, Roy, and Zach to come to Wilmington to visit. My first memory of Roy is him sitting in the driveway playing a banjo and singing a song, the lyrics to which I couldn't possibly tell you. I don't remember. What I do remember was Betty was sitting next to him making faces because the lyrics were completely inappropriate and really funny. But one of the times I went to visit, I think I must have been like 6 or 7. I didn't know how to ride a bike. Well, Roy decided it was time to teach me. So he put me on a 3-speed. I don't know whose 3-speed it was. And while we were discussing how I could stop, he let go. And the bike with me on it went barreling towards a T-point at the bottom of the road. Well, it's a good thing Roy was a runner, because Roy ran like a house on fire. I will never forget what he looked like, the terror in his eyes. He ran and stopped me before I hit traffic. Doesn't sound like a funny story, but if you'd been there, it was really funny. I was terrorized, but mostly I was looking over my shoulder at dear Uncle Roy, and the terror in his eyes told me all I needed to know about the situation I was in. But I also knew I was going to get saved because Uncle Roy was behind me. Last thing, and I already shared this with Fee. There are a lot of places we get our ideas about what the world is like and who people are and the way they're going to behave and the way they're going to treat us. Until Roy, I didn't know that men could be as gentle and sweet and kind as he was. He had the booming voice and he could do mad, but he also did all the faces and made fart jokes and was gentle and sweet. And that I've carried that through my whole life. And it was a gift from Roy. So I'm grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maggie.
Fee, do you want to set this up? I think you're muted. You're muted, Fee.
Sorry about that. So this is a song I wrote that I was inspired by a visit to Roy Harvey's house with the three brothers. And we had never actually been alone together, I think, ever until last October. And so we realized, and, you know, my partner Sharon thought of this idea, or maybe she had been thinking about it for a while. And she said, maybe it's time for you to just go spend the weekend with your brothers. Because I thought she was going to come down and cook for us and all these wonderful things she does. But I was like, oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll think about that. I'm not sure if I agree with it yet, but, and then I realized that, yeah, that's a good idea. And so we got together, and T and Zach and I began to clean out my dad's house. And so it was just a very powerful weekend with the brothers. And that's what this song is basically about. And I think it kind of turned into a tribute to Roy Harvey. So hope you enjoy it.
Three brothers came together in the old man's place. It surely was about all of us and a little grace. Somehow we were allowed to begin to rest his case. See, the old man kicked the bucket, but now we're here. It's cool, we get to talk about our hopes and fears. As we see and hold the pieces of life and shed some tears. We used to speak so harshly of the old man, but we can't anymore. Can't anymore since he walked out that door. We cleaned out his old clothes and gave them all away. After picking out some sweet shirts on Saturday, all of the things the important stuff that lets our hearts to ring. Like how to really play, really laugh, really sing. We used to speak so harshly of the old man, but we can't anymore. We can't anymore. Just walked out that door. Daddy, oh daddy, you left us a lot of your stuff, and it's just enough. Daddy, oh daddy, you left us just enough, and it's lots of love, lots of love, lots of love, lots of love, lots of love. Daddy, oh daddy, you left us lots of love.
Thanks, Fee. By the way, Sally Harvey and Lainey Logan intended to be here. I'm not sure they're on, but they were having some Zoom challenges. Apologies for that. Anybody else want to say a word or two?
Katie, did you want to say something?
Instead of unmuting, I stopped my video. There you go. So I'm thinking about it. It's really strange to think about how few hours of my life I spent with Betty and Roy, and how foundational it all was, and how they remain a touchstone for me. I can't tell you how many times I'd start a story. Well, on my aunt's honeymoon, I mean, you probably don't all know this, but T and Fee and Em and I went on Betty and Roy's honeymoon, right? And we went to Cape Cod and Boston and to the lake. And it was an amazing time. And the music is a huge part of what I remember. I mean, we would sing in my family in the car, but this was a different thing. It became an instant kind of sacred, joyful space. And to this day, when I get sad, I sing 500 miles to myself under my breath sometimes. And the way that Betty treasured you all. One Christmas, her gift to me was a huge picture of your family. And some people would think that was strange, but it was like Betty saying, look, my heart, look the joy, look the goodness. Just so much beauty. And that kitchen table in Rhode Island, even though I wasn't there all that often, is like an altar in my life, because there was truth and laughter. And I still don't know how you get your lips stuck over your teeth that way to make that perfect grin. That's it, Em. That's it. Betty's really good at it too. You got that. And that first picture I saw with the squinty eye grin, that's just like, it's a thing. You all have the gift of words that actually mean something, and of showing up with full presence, real, all in, and loving. What more could anybody want? What more does the world need? What a legacy those two left. It's gorgeous.
Thank you so much, Katie.
Thanks, Katie.
Hannah, did you want to?
That was beautiful.
I think Hannah wanted to say something. Oh, okay. Um,
You guys mind if I say something?
sure.
We're on the road, so it might be a little hit or miss, but I just wanted to say it's been such a pleasure joining. I'm T's son, Leroy's son, Solomon, and been part of the process getting this entire thing together and just throwing in ideas and stuff like that. It's just so cool to be witness of how it all came together and to see everybody in their own spaces and in their homes, because when we come together, typically we're all in one space, and just to be able to see people's backgrounds and where they are and time and space is just really, really nice to see everybody, to see the family, and I hope to see everybody in person sometime. But one memory I have of Roy is he built me a slingshot when I was little up at Long Lake, and he told me he chopped an entire tree down to find the exact perfect notch in the tree to get me like to make this slingshot. And he used to tell me stories of when he was working in I think he was an English teacher at was it a prison, or he was kind of helping people that were
Yes.
in recovery,
Jackson
get their
Prison.
lives. Just so many funny stories of how he would interact with those people and how he was totally fearless of these really big guys that he was working with. And one story that I just remember is he was saying something about a guy that was he was sleeping in the class, and he was gonna throw like a dry eraser at him, and the guy like gets up all big, and he had this like the perfect way of, in his Roy story voice, of just like he got up and he was like, "You better not, or I'll make you eat it." And I don't know, that stuck with me, of like all those stories, and just really getting us kind of, like you said, Zach, really treating everybody the great equalizer of not being fearful of talking to other people and approaching people. And I've always been kind of questioning why I have so many questions and eager to learn more about other people. And I feel like finding a lot of myself in what you guys are saying. So thanks for just creating the space, and really happy to be a part of it.
You come by it honestly, Saul.
Lots of love to everybody. I'm on my phone, so I can't see everybody, but Lindsay and I are driving from South Carolina back home. So love to everybody out there.
Thank you, Saul. That was beautiful.
All right, we are kind of winding down, but we do have, if anybody else wants to say something, you can raise your hand or flash, write your name down. Otherwise, we can, we'll share the recording later. I want to thank Emmy for sending out the invites, and for Sharon and Felix and Emmy for kind of helping moderate, let people into the meeting here. Solomon and Molly for weighing in early on in our organizing, and just, it's really precious to see everyone's faces. I'll mute myself now if anyone else wants to make a parting comment. Uncle Todd?
There.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say hi to Bobby, whose house became a favorite destination for Roy and for Roy and Betty when Roy was alive, and that I think that as everybody probably knows, Bobby introduced Roy and Betty, and the rest is history. So hi, Bobby. Thanks.
Hi, Tad. I want to tell everybody about the moment that we introduced Roy and
Yeah.
Betty. Betty was a friend, and Roy had asked to come visit us. And Ans and I just got this brainstorm to do some matchmaking. So we invited Betty for dinner, and it was magical. It didn't take long at all for Roy to pick up Ans's guitar and burst into Goodnight Irene with Betty singing along at the top of her lungs. And the whole evening was just a riot, and they just fell in love. I mean, it was very, very fast and wonderful to see, gave us much joy. And it's just a wonderful memory. And thank you all for everything you've done here. It's been wonderful for me.
Thank you so much, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby. So great to hear that story. And I know you were a huge part of their lives.
Well, Roy,
Thanks, Aunt Bobby.
I've had so many conversations with your dad over the last couple of years, which was really wonderful for me. We talked about books and kept me up on all of you, and I don't know, it was just fun, you know. It was very, very touching. So anyway, I'm happy to be here and appreciating each one of you. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Bobby.
Well, thanks again, everybody. Last call for parting comments. Hope to see many of you
I'll
again.
just say something. I'll just say something quick. This is Carrie. Can you hear me? I was
Yeah.
going to say something too. Carrie. Oh, weird. I just wanted to point out that there's a lot of people on this Zoom call, and I think it says something about Uncle Roy and my dad that, you know, they're really obsessed with being remembered, and they wouldn't leave this planet without pretty much overpopulating it. So the earth will forgive you. The green goddess earth will forgive you, and we'll try to keep our Harvey carbon footprint down. But in all seriousness, what an amazing tribute, and amazing that there's a real army of people out there who will have him in his hearts forever and ever, especially in Long Lake where it's so close. So thank you and sending love.
Thank you so much.
Hi, yeah, I just wanted to chime in. Carrie and I are having a lot of duplication today. So that usually means to me that Granny is somewhere around. And that's what I just wanted to share as a parting thought, that when we heard of Roy passing, actually Abby and Carrie and I were able to be there with Dad in Long Lake and kind of walk through the woods in the dark and sit together and talk. And, you know, Dad had been struggling to decide whether he was going to come back to Rhode Island or not. And obviously during COVID and all that, we hadn't seen each other in a while. So I sort of made a prayer to Granny to show us a sign if she thought it would be just fine for Dad to stay with us. And that next morning, we saw this incredible family of deer come across, which isn't totally unusual in Long Lake, but it has been something that those of us who go there have looked for signs. We know Bob Silliman, we think, appeared as a buck. So it was just, I just wanted to share that one of the things Dad said was always that Granny always wanted his boys to be close. And you know, as a parent myself and a child, like, I don't know that was, I mean, I am close with my siblings, but I don't know that was like a value that was passed down to me, but it was something that was really clearly passed down from Granny. So I just think that she would, you know, that despite all the ups and downs was something that I know Dad like took to heart and is bigger than everyone here on this Zoom, that brotherly love. And it's really inspiring to have that as an example, and pretty magical. So thank you all for letting us be a part of it today and letting us into this beautiful moment in time.
Let me, I have one, just, hi, I'm Omar, Carrie's husband, so I'm not related by blood to Roy. which you can tell because I have brown hair. So there's Hannah just reminded me of something, and this is meant to be funny, so it may not sound funny, but my intention is that it's funny. So she reminded me that last summer when we were in Long Lake, when Fee called to say that Roy had passed, and I answered the phone, and the phone doesn't ring a lot at Long Lake, and when it does, it's annoying, right? Because it's like you're in this pristine wilderness, and you could imagine it's 1865, and then the phone rings, and it kind of ruins the illusion. So I picked up the phone, and I think I answered it in a really irritated voice. I think it was a little bit late. I can't even remember what time it was, but I was like, "Hello." And it was Fee who I don't know Fee well, and I don't know his voice, and I don't remember exactly what happened. And he was like, I think he said, "Is Tad there?" And I said something like, "It's the goddamn middle of the night," or something like that. And Fee was incredibly graceful and just said, hey Omar, it's Fee, and gave the news. And then of course I backed away right away. Oh my, I am so sorry. It was so embarrassing and horrible, but he was very, very graceful about it. And I hadn't remembered that until Hannah just explained what she did. But I honestly, after hearing all of you, and the way that you described Roy, I kind of think he might have thought that was funny. And so the only final thing I will say is that Roy looked like my grandfather, and that he was so charming, and I didn't know him well, but his whole spirit and face reminded me of this very, very special person in my life. So that doesn't mean anything to anyone except me, but I just associate him with a wonderful and wise spirit. So thanks, everyone.
I'd like to say thank you, particularly to the last three people that shared, of course, to everybody. But Omar, you were a lot more graceful on that phone call. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but you shifted gears so fast. I was impressed, as I often am when I actually do talk to you, which ain't often, but you were a hero in my dad's mind. He just loved you, man, because you were like one of those special people that he had at the grocery store. And yet you married in. And so whether like it or not, you're a Harvey, man. Thanks, brother.
This is last call, I guess. I mean, don't want to squelch any more thoughts here, but anybody else want to say a word?
Okay, this is terrible, but it keeps welling up. I keep having this memory of when my grandmother offered your dad anus cookies, and how it became a theme for the rest of our lives. It just seemed right. I can still see his face telling that story 912 times. Joy.
That's a perfect way to conclude this broadcast. Emmy, do you want to
thing real quick?
Yep.
I just wanted just an observation, and it's sort of a question too in parting here. I don't know if it was a uniquely Roy Harvey thing, or if this is a family thing or some kind of recessive gene thing at work. But I don't know how many of you ever got to ride in a car, my dad, but his ability and his need to make really sincere, active eye contact with all of the passengers, particularly those in the back seat, was kind of a marvel. And I'm wondering if that was just our dad, or if that was a family-wide thing. I guess that's it.
Aw. So we're wrapping up. Thank you all for lingering and sharing stories and love and yourselves with us. It's a wonderful feeling to have gathered here today with all of you. So thank you, and hope to see some of you in Long Lake and other places.
Happy Mother's Day.
Oh yeah. All right.
All right. Good to see everyone.
Great seeing you guys. Great job. Sending love.
Bye.
I did almost fall out of a car with Uncle Roy driving. That's true. Dad was there too, though. So love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Lots of love.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Fee. Great to see you, Bobby. Good to see you, Sarah.
Nice to see
And
you too.
Fen.
Hi, Sarah.
Great to see you, Fen.
Hi. Your huge daughter. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, she's quite huge.
She's so big. My gosh.
She just grew like 2 inches and cut all her hair off and dyed it purple.
Hope to see you in the lake at the lake this summer, Sarah and Kaya.
Definitely.
Hey, Molly, I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully.
Hi, Molly.
Yep. Hi, guys. That was so beautiful. That was amazing. That was really special.
Aww.
So glad that you've been part of it, Molly.
Me too.
And everything.
Me too.
We'll have to do something like this again sometime. Anybody has any ideas how to do it?
Yeah. Aw. Fen, it's good to see you too. Thank you for coming.
I wanted to give a shout out to a very special guest who showed up today, Mr. Daniel Shanahan. Hello, this is a friend of Felix and mine who we're honored to have you here, Dan.
Thank you. Yeah, I was a witness to a radiant love of all your love for each other and your love for Roy. And it's like starlight on a lake in my heart now. And it's a profound teaching. It was like a sutra of love, just exquisite and funny and powerful and uplifting. And so thank you. You have a gorgeous family, powerful family. When I met Felix, when he started getting together, he was talking about his going down to see his father and the tenderness of that. And it's a great teaching your family has for the world and for me. So thank you. Thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you so much, Danny.
Yeah, thank you, Phil.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
It's a powerful family and a powerful group of friends as well.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of love in the room, and I appreciate it a lot.
Y'all have a great weekend. Love you.
You too.
Thanks, Dee. Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
Looking forward to seeing you this summer.
Yeah, we are too.
Good.
Awesome.
What you die here?